All right, welcome everyone to the introduction and benefits of the college coaching program brought to you by the Heartland Institute of Financial Education and our college coaching program. My name is Megan Penley Pickett, and I have the honor of serving as the Dean of Education for that college coaching program. Started as a coach with that program, have done some other things with consultants and some various things with the Institute, and have now landed in this role, and I am very pleased about that. I believe, let me check I believe I am joined on here by another one of my colleagues. Yep, I see my other colleague in the participant side of
I sure am. Thanks, Megan.
Perfect. So if you want to introduce yourself, Ryan.
Yeah, you bet. My name is Ryan Gappinger, and I'm the Chief Operating Officer for the Heartland Institute. And I'm also a financial advisor. And again, I just wanted to reiterate, we appreciate you guys being on, whether it be in this morning or this afternoon. And you'll hear from me a little bit later in this presentation as we get a little bit more into the benefits for you as a consultant. But again, happy for you all to be here.
Great, thank you. So the way that today's program is going to work, excuse me, I always get a bubble right in my throat before I'm talking to people, right? And so I'm going to show a presentation. We have some slides to show you, a little video, and give you a lot of information, so it'll feel a little bit like drinking from a fire hose. Not our intention. It's the only way I know how to do things sometimes. So be aware that you don't have to know everything that I just told you. Trying to give that broad overview of what the program is. And then, like Ryan said, he's going to step in and really talk about how do you utilize this program to build your business, to build your financial practice, to build out your financial center, to potentially bring on additional team members or give them opportunities as well. And then we'll leave time for questions and answers at the end. I'm getting some thumbs up there. Thank you, Jose. I appreciate it. So if you have questions throughout the program, you are certainly welcome to put them in the chat line. I got to get out of my email when I do that. Put that in the chat line and we can get to that, but we won't get to that till the end. It helps kind of keep the flow of that going. And so there'll be an opportunity to unmute yourself at that point in time to ask your question, or you can put it in the chat line and we'll
It looks like we lost Megan there for a minute. I'll give her a second here to hop back on, so bear with us. Thanks, guys. All right, hopefully you can hear me. Megan's trying to hop back on, but I'll at least get started kind of with the beginning. This is definitely not my area of expertise, but I'm more than happy to at least start talking through it here. Can everybody hear me okay?
Ryan, I'm back in.
Oh, you are? Okay, great.
I don't have control of the slides, but I am back in. So
I can control the slides for you.
Perfect.
Great.
Sorry about that, everybody. It's like this windstorm all of a sudden came up as soon as I get on. So thanks for bearing with us. I'm sure you've never experienced any Zoom issues, especially lately. So So thank you all again. You know where you're at. You've been looking at this slide probably long enough, so we can go to the next one. Perfect. So who we are is, and we're going to talk about this a lot. It's very important to us. It's the core of who we are. It's our foundation, again, the core of who we are. We're a national 501c3 nonprofit, and our mission really and truly is to promote financial literacy, financial education, and what people can do with that. We believe that a foundation of that is starting with higher education. What we provide in this part of our institute, there's several things that we do provide in the financial education, financial literacy portion of our institute. But what we're really talking about today is our college coaching program. And in that, we assign each student a college or university planning coach who helps them, work directly, create that personalized educational plan to walk them through the planning process, the admissions, and the financial aid process. And how we provide that is that we are a fully online program. Our services are delivered via email, online meetings, and phone. This is how we have been since day one. And so we have not had to use all of this time that we have gone into quarantine or shelter in place due to coronavirus or COVID-19. We have been able to use that time to say, not how are we going to pivot what we offer, how are we going to enhance that? And we've really been able to do that in providing resources, emailing our students and families, providing webinars on a lot of different information. So this is really we are designed for this culture and to work with students all across the country. You can see here on your screen, just really quickly, and we're going to do it again, but we had some contact information, so you can give us a call, give us an email, those types of things, but we'll bring that up later on. This is the joy of giving the presentation and having somebody else do your slides. You're supposed to be able to read my mind, Ryan. So, but this is our information. We have a brand new website, collegecoaching.org. It is dedicated to our college coaching program. We're very excited about this. And then you can also like us on Facebook at HIFE College Coaching Program. And it's a great place to get resources, to direct families to. We're really trying to build that out. So we would love if you liked us. So, okay, next screen is great. So this is going to be, hopefully, if it's a video, Ryan is going to play it. If not, then we're not going to play it today, and that's perfectly fine. I will do an overview as well. But just so you know, if we're unable to play it, if you are a consultant, you have access to this video as well as other videos that we have for training purposes for you to be able to share with prospective clients. This one is designed specifically for prospective clients, for individuals or groups of clients. So are you able to play it on your side of things, Ryan?
I don't believe so. I've tried to click it, so I don't think it's better than mine.
No worries. The good news is you would all just hear my voice anyhow on this video. So, so the screen that you're actually looking at here, and this is something that we're really excited about, is the results that we had. This was at the end of last year. We're in the process of updating this now, but you can see that last year and this year we are way above all of this as well. We reviewed over 2,300 essays, 225 of our college coaching program students were accepted in the top 200 universities in the nation. We had over $16 million that were awarded in financial aid dollars to our students, with an additional almost $185,000 that were awarded in the appeals process, what we call the reevaluation process. So these are just some of our highlights that we like to show. Again, this information, this video in and of itself is located in the consultant team site. And we're in the process of updating this and updating the collateral materials that go along with it as well. So we can go on to that next slide. So these are the cornerstones of our program. There's a lot of things that go in between it. And again, I'm going to do my best not to give you the fire hose part of it, but these are the core pieces of what our program is based on. We start every student with that student assessment.
that coming together of the career interests, skills, and work values, because we start with the end in mind. We start helping them figure out which career paths do they believe that they want to go down, so then they can back that up to figure out, okay, if I want to go down that career path or for that particular job, I'm going to need this particular major or this education family to be able to get there. And then we figure out from there which college or university is going to fit their needs best. So we move from that student assessment to the career exploration to that career guidance. This is really that hands-on piece, talking with people who are in those careers, talking with people who are in careers you don't think that you want, just to get more information, job shadowing, internships, all of those pieces, and then move into that college selection, finding the right fit when it comes to a college or university based on the majors or degrees that they offer. Obviously, we want to make sure that it has a major or degree that's going to correspond with their career. We walk them through the admissions process. How do your test scores and GPA factor into that? What's the cost and financial aid? Those types of things. So it looks as if we do these one and then the other, but this is really done in tandem with one another. Because our program is designed for students starting in the middle of 8th grade, we're going to do some of these, work on something else, come back to that. So this is really where it gets tailored to the individual student. You can go to the next slide. Thank you. So these are some of the benefits of joining the college coaching program. Again, you don't need to know all of this, but these are really some of the talking points that we find really helpful when we're talking to people about what sets our program apart. It's really that one-on-one individualized attention. In the United States, on average, our high school counselors who work tirelessly on behalf of our students, they have an average caseload of 478 students. Now, of course, that's not going to be true everywhere, but that's on average in the US, 478 students on a caseload. At the Heartland Institute of Financial Education's college coaching program, we have an average of 65 students on a coach's caseload. That really and truly lends itself to that individualized, personalized attention. Again, we have that career-focused research with that hands-on experience to make sure that it's not only something that they think they might be interested in, but something that they really want to do. Things look really good on paper. You know, I worked with a student one time who really wanted to go into nursing, realized she fainted at the sight of blood. And so it was good to find that out while she was in high school. Is that something she wanted to overcome or switch tracks, right? We offer that financial aid navigation, so federal, state, and institutional specific aid. So we work with them on that. Those monthly personalized recommendations that are sent out to students based on their grade. Unlimited essay reviews for scholarship as well as college or university applications, and then again that tailored college search to fit the needs of the student. So these are some really great benefits to the program that does set us apart from other services that may be offered for students. Next slide. But what really sets us apart is our coaches. We are not called a planning program, right? We're called a college coaching program. And we have coaches, we have a team of coaches who have 20 plus years in the workforce. We should probably update that. I feel like it's probably 30 plus years for the majority of our coaches, anywhere from human resources, training and development, hotel, restaurant, tourism management, to academia, right? Some professors, some financial aid officers. I'm a former director of student engagement and have also worked in admissions. So they are all fully vetted and trained. So there's no one who is better suited or less suited to coaching. What we do is really try to make a fit on interests and experiences and caseload, frankly, to make sure that the student who enrolls can get that one-on-one personalized attention. Students are assigned one coach, but that coach then works on a team. And so that all of our students get the benefit of what that coach has to offer. what the team has to offer when it comes to resources and information and all of that. And then we take a very personalized approach, because at the end of the day, all of our coaches are student focused. They will go above and beyond and stay up late and get up early and do all of the things to meet the needs of the students, especially during this time, or at those high stress times when it's admissions time or essay review time. All of those things, our coaches really do go above and beyond, because they care about the students above all else. Next slide. So this is a great slide. This is something, again, you don't necessarily need to have this information right now, but it is available to you when you become a consultant. This is one of our marketing pieces. It's a great thing to take a picture of if you're curious about what are the services. This information is laid out for you at our collegecoaching.org website. So you can see this red bar at the top is talking about our comprehensive program. That is our 12-month consecutive month year-long contract, and that's offered for the $24.95, which is currently at a discounted price. And so this is for the year-long process. So everything that we have talked about up to this point has been for that comprehensive year-long program. What you can see below that is that we have broken our comprehensive program into 5 different options. Again, for today's purposes, you don't need to know all the ins and outs of these. What you do need to know is that we took the foundational pieces, the cornerstones of our program, and broke that out into smaller pieces that are delivered on a shorter time frame. So our year-long program is year-long with full access to coaches. All of these options are done in 4 30-minute sessions delivered over 2 months. But you can see at a reduced price of $649 for all of them until you get to that post-planning, and that's $349. What this does is really give a lot more options. This is brand new for us over the last month. We're very excited about it. A lot more options for our prospective families, for you as consultants to be able to deliver some additional options and give them some different benefits and services and things like that for people who maybe are looking to fill the gaps in what their college planning has looked like, maybe to dip their toes in the water and then decide that they want that comprehensive program. So this is a really great benefit that we have just added. So right now is a great time to get involved with the Institute. Next slide. And so this is another one. Again, this sort of gets in the weeds, but we wanted to address it. You know, a lot of people ask, well, what's the benefit of going with the options versus the comprehensive? And again, you don't need to know all of this, but there are some benefits in pairing some of those options together. And then at some point we'll say, actually, it's probably just better if we go to that comprehensive. So again, we are trying to make this as simple as possible for you as consultants to be able to give options to your clients to help them really fit their needs. Ryan's going to talk about that in a little bit of kind of what does that look like as a financial professional, but we really wanted to build these options to make it fit into how your practice can work, how you can leverage that with different groups and communities of people. Next slide. And this is the last thing. I think the next slide goes to Ryan, but I'm not sure. This is, again, just another marketing piece that you have available to you. But what happens here, this is something that's really designed to be forward facing to the client. You know, as you walk through, once they enroll and we fill out, you all fill out the enrollment and we receive the payment and process that. Within 72 hours, the family receives the welcome email. And what's really important to know is that you as the consultant are copied on all of the emails from myself as well as the coach, because we want you to know that this is a product that's working. We don't want to leave you guessing on, did the family get started? What happened here? All of those things. So with your Heartland email, which Ryan will go into, you will receive these emails that are keeping you up to date on your clients. Doesn't mean you have to do anything with that, but it also takes out that stress and anxiety of, did this get completed? What was the communication like? So to finish out this slide, within 72-hour business hours of receiving the welcome email from the dean that has their coach assignment, students, families, and consultants will receive the welcome email from their specific coach to set up their initial meeting, which is typically done on Zoom or on the phone, something along those lines. And then that student is really starting. So again, you're copied on all of those emails. So when and if there are ever any questions, you are able to go back and help your client as well. But as Ryan's going to talk about, it's not our expectation that you know all the ins and outs of being a college planner or a college planning coach. So you don't have to know everything that I just told you. I just like to talk about it. But it's really, you have access to the information so you can be well versed. If someone were to ask you a question about their particular enrollment, then you can get in contact with the coach, those types of things. That doesn't come up very often, but we want to keep you updated because it gives you an opportunity to build relationships with your client as well. Next slide. I think this is you, Ryan, right?
Yeah, sorry, it helped if I unmuted there.
Yes.
Yeah, well, thank you again. Yeah, Megan, we appreciate it. You know, that like Megan was saying, that was kind of an overview of what a student and family can expect from our program. We've had 8 years now that we've been with WFG in particular, and this has really been a national leading program when it comes to helping students. The scholarship funds and financial aid we've been able to help students and families get. So it's something that's really important to us, obviously. The other piece of this too that I just want to mention on the front is, you know, about a year ago, there's a lot of bad press about college planning with a couple individuals out there that were, you know, finagling things the wrong way. And I want to make the point that this is a college coaching program, like Megan said. We don't guarantee scholarships. We can't do that. The reason we can't do that is because nobody can do that unless they're doing it the wrong way. So it's up to obviously the coach and then having a willing family and student doing all the work that the coach assigns that really makes this program successful. But anyway, as I mentioned at the beginning, my name is Ryan Gappinger. I do the operations side here at the Institute, but most of my time, and more importantly for this conversation, is I run my own financial planning practice out in Colorado. I've been doing that for about 15 years. And it's important because I want to talk to you guys a little bit more about how, as a consultant and representing a nonprofit, can really help you a little bit rebrand yourself, but also help build your business in a little bit more of a unique way. So the importance of a national nonprofit really is, as I kind of just mentioned, is helping break down barriers. You know, oftentimes as some people view us, would be as salespeople, you know, as an insurance agent, or, you know, just somebody trying to push a particular product. And it's kind of nice coming in from a national nonprofit and representing that standpoint. It really helps break those barriers down, especially when you start talking to families about financial education, helping them, their student, find the right college and potentially lowering the amount that they're going to have to spend for that. And so a national nonprofit is a very key piece in all of this. The real value of financial education for us is, yeah, we're a financial education company, you know, nonprofit. Our mission is to help families, of course. But with education just by itself is of little value without some type of action with it. So what we believe is having financial professionals become certified with us, they can not only educate somebody, but they can also help that individual better their financial situation. So again, education by itself is of little value without some type of associated action. HIFE and WFG, you'll hear me say HIFA. It's Heartland Institute of Financial Education. It's a long sentence to say, so we sometimes cut it down to HIFA. So whenever you hear me say that, that's what I'm referring to. I know it's kind of a weird term there, but we've been, like I said, with WFG since 2012. We became a referral partner with them shortly thereafter, and have been, you know, part of that system. And so any referral fees that come from an enrollment into our program gets paid through the WFG grid. So what else does this mean for you as the advisor? Really, you guys, as you become consultants, are the liaison between families and the nonprofit. Your job really is to talk with that family about the services. You don't need to know the program, the ins and outs. Believe me, I don't. I've been here for 15 years and I still don't know all the ins and outs. I'm not a college coach. But what I am is somebody that can explain this to an interested family with the idea that they enroll, and then I get to follow up with them in other areas, which I'll get into a little bit more here. So why should you become a certified consultant? There's going to be a number of different bullet points on here. I'm not going to go over to any of these in particular detail, but I do want to talk about some of the high level pieces. So as we've talked about several times now, as a consultant, you become a member of a select group that sets you apart from other financial professionals by representing a national nonprofit. Again, it's kind of rebranding yourself, not just as an advisor or an agent, but as a consultant with a nonprofit, more of an education mindset. Provides an easier way to see more prospects. Again, this all goes back to what we know about individuals. There's a certain number of things in their financial lives that really stick out. Obviously, retirement's right up there. College planning is right there. You know, that's a big topic, especially with people that clients that might have kids starting to start high school, maybe even before. And it's a great way to come in as a nonprofit consultant to talk to them about that instead of coming in as what they might view as a salesperson. That same idea is to help build trust and credibility with different prospects and clients. It's also a different way to get in front of them and talk to them about something a little bit different. Again, this is one of the more unique approaches, is to be able to come in from a different angle and talk to them, not just as an advisor talking about money, but talking about, you know, college coaching for their student from a nonprofit standpoint. And you'll hear me say nonprofit over and over, so I know it might get a little annoying, but I just want to kind of set that in your mind, how unique this situation is. It's a great way to get more team members or build maybe your team. This is a great program for starting people, just maybe new people getting right into the industry. It's good for people who have been in the industry for a while, but it's a good way to get them started, you know, become a consultant. They can, I'll mention here in a little bit what all they get by becoming a consultant. You get a business card and a Heartland Institute email. You know, it's a great program to get rolling with new team members. And then based on our comprehensive program, the $24.95 that Megan mentioned earlier, you can get anywhere from $500 to even more per enrollment that you bring in. That's a referral fee that goes to the WFG grid. Again, it's at as little as $500. That's the least amount you get, depending on your level, obviously, with WFG and kind of where you fall within that system. And then we offer ongoing trainings. This is several times a month, and we can get a little more detail on those if you guys have questions at the end. I don't know all of them off the top of my head, but they're trainings for you as consultants with somebody like Megan, myself, to talk a little bit more about, okay, how can you take this family that you've just enrolled and get back in and talk to them about their other financial situations, things like that. And then we can also connect you with other consultants that have already been through our program, that have been doing this for a while, that might be able to give you some different or unique ideas in your area. We have all kinds of different marketing materials. We've just got new presentations that we've put up. We'll refer to this consultant team site as basically your portal once you become a consultant, on where you access all of the Heartland college coaching information. So there's brochures, presentations, training videos that Megan's done a great job of putting together, and all kinds of different pieces of information, maybe more than you want, but it's at least all there for you to pick and choose from. So here's a question: how do you use the college coaching program to build your business? Well, I've already kind of brought up a few different ideas. This one's going to be a whole host of different information. I'll kind of skip that first one a little bit on the nonprofit piece, but as I mentioned before, what you will receive is you go through the training all online, and then once you pass the exam, which again, it's all online and at your own pace, it can be done in a weekend very easily, maybe quicker. I've seen people do it quicker. But you will receive a Heartland Institute email address, and you'll have the opportunity to get Heartland Institute business cards. You know, again, that all sets you apart from maybe giving them a WFG or Transamerica type card to transitioning over and giving them a consultant card that you represent the nonprofit. We host quite a few different college planning events. Personally, I do myself along with my team members in my financial advising practice. Right now, that's a little unique with not being able to actually host physical events so much with the current COVID issues, but hopefully we'll be able to get that started here again before too long. But what the Institute will do is help you get in to schools, help contact those libraries. They may need information on the nonprofit. That can be a much easier barrier, again, with even getting into different events and places like that. So we do that quite a bit. Right now is a great time to host online meetings for high school age students and families. And I'll touch on this. You guys are certainly more than welcome to host your own meetings, but Megan and the coaches do offer several webinars each month that are on different topics that you can invite prospective families to, and we can explain the program and then go through that. And it might help kind of get you into the game a little bit on what exactly we offer, and help kind of quote unquote sell that program to the families as well. Again, leveraging your membership as a nonprofit is huge. This is the biggest piece for me as the advisor. So what we do is say we enroll a family into the program. But what that gives you the ability to do is then follow up. Like Megan was saying, is you are copied on all the emails back and forth between the coach and the student and family. But also in the part of the enrollment process is getting some of their financial information in, because we'll need that for financial aid and different pieces like that. That gives you the opportunity to really follow up in some of the areas that you might see that they need some more financial help in, as you know, your role as the consultant. Again, I mentioned earlier, it's a great entry for building your team and building your book of business. We'll go more into that after you become a consultant and kind of some training there. I'm assuming most you guys have some type of team, or you're looking to build a team. So we'd be more than happy to help any way we can there. And again, as I said earlier, we're here to help sponsor any events, help contact anybody, provide our nonprofit information to different organizations or events you're looking to host. And as I said before, you know, our marketing materials and this new website is a really great way to start getting yourself knowledgeable a little bit in the program, but also a way to introduce it to interested families. Okay, so the consultant role, I want to touch on this just real quick, is your job as a college consultant is not to know the college planning, admissions, financial aid, any of that information. Your job is really to talk to families about what the program can help them with on that higher level. And then that's kind of it as far as your role. You help them enroll into the program. And then from there, Megan and the coaches kind of take over, and that's where they start really interacting with the student on the college coaching process itself. Your job, the way I see it, is to get them enrolled and then follow up with them on what else they might need. Help them with, maybe they need, you see a lack in insurance that they might need, investment products, you know, whatever else you guys do as advisors. That's kind of your role. But really, because we've heard quite a bit of feedback on people who recently became consultants, and they felt a little hesitant on going to the program, that they need to know every little detail, and that's just not the case. Your job is really to make that referral to the program, help them enroll, and then follow up with them on what else they might need. So I'm not going to go into every single one of these, because it kind of is that higher level touch. But once you do enroll them, again, you get that referral fee, as I referenced before. And then, you know, you're included in all the communication. You can pay attention to as much or as little as you want. I would encourage you to at least pay attention to some of it, to make sure, like Megan was saying, that the student is getting what they want and need out of the program. But again, to also make sure you're there for support on every other piece that might come up from their financial lives. So to talk a little bit more about the cost of this, the certification fee, and this fee is all encompassing. So it's $49. We've been charging $95 up to this point, but with everything going on with COVID, we want to at least try to make it a little bit more palatable. I know a lot of people are going through different hardships and whatnot, so we're offering it right now for $49, and that's for the foreseeable future here until things kind of get back to normal. But basically, the fee includes your access to the online consultant training, and then following that training is an exam. Now, this exam can be done at your own pace. It's not proctored. It's basically, once you've gone through the training and feel comfortable with the content of that training, then you can take the exam. The exam's only 40 questions. It can be done. You have a time limit of 90 minutes. It's all online. So once you kind of start, you'll see how kind of easy and straightforward this is. And again, the online consultant training is just an overview of the program, the things that you need to be able to tell the families, which is kind of what we've already talked about a little bit. And then a couple of the costs, so you understand those. when talking to a family, and that's about it. You don't need to know all the ins and outs. It's more just making sure you understand what the program is, you feel comfortable talking to people about it. And then once you go through the exam and pass it, you'll automatically be given your certificate as a consultant, a certified consultant with the Heartland Institute. And then within 24 hours or so, you'll get your email and then access to the portal, which has, again, all of our brochures and marketing materials, presentations, videos, all that kind of fun stuff. In order to get started, to fill out this certification process application, just go to our primary website, which is hife-usa.org. I won't try to list out this whole URL here, but it's really easy to find. You can just go to that main page, and then it's the certifications tab at the top, and then there's a button under that for the consultant application. Pretty straightforward. A few questions, some of the basic questions, and then once you make payment with that for the $49, you'll be sent about 15 minutes later your receipt, which will have all the information on the online training. So you could start this right after this call today if you want, and probably be done by the end of the evening if you really wanted to get rolling with it. So it's a pretty straightforward process. And then, like I said, once you pass that exam, you're kind of off to the races. We've got some training videos right off the bat. As I mentioned, you'll get that email within 24 hours or so. But we do provide some content and presentations and whatnot right after you pass. You can kind of start get rolling if you're really eager to get that process started. But the basics on a renewal, we've gotten a lot of questions about this. We try to have you enroll one student per year to remain active. And that's really, to make sure you're being engaged. And that's part of our nonprofit too, is to make sure that the consultants or anybody representing the nonprofit is engaged with what we're doing. If you're not able to, there's a renewal recertification cost of $49 each year. Again, that's kind of like CE, it's making sure you're up to date on what we're doing. Assuming that if you're actually actively enrolling students, you don't need to be going through, any type of recertification. And so that's kind of the basics about it. Right now, we're offering this program. It's normally $26.95 for our comprehensive program. We're offering a $200 discount right now. Again, this is for all the same reasons as COVID that we doing the reduction in the consultant cost as well. And there's payment plans on this, which you get into more detail as you go through the training, so that the cost can be spread out over 10 months or so as well. Just to help with the different hardships, or people can't just lump out $2,500 right now. They can, choose different options. The 5 options that Megan mentioned, there's no payment plans associated with those, but the comprehensive program, which is really the all-encompassing program, can be. So with that, I'll turn it over to Megan if she wants to finish anything, and then obviously we're here to answer any questions you guys might have.
Yeah, perfect. You can stop sharing screen. I will see what questions we have and kind of wrap up the presentation piece. Hopefully people can you hear me? Is my technology working? Hopefully. Oh, I'm getting, there's
yep.
I like
we
thumbs up there, Jose. Great. Thank you. So that's, again, fire hose. I hope you all were thirsty, right? It's a lot of information, but it's really more to say we have a very comprehensive program. We offer a lot, and it can be very individualized to students, which also really allows you as the consultant to individualize that for your clients as well. And as you get into it, we help you along the way. We partner with you along the way to make sure that you have the information, that you're learning what you need to, and then you can pass that baton to us as the partner. And so it looks like there's a couple of questions. So this is a great time if you want to pop them into the chat. Looks like lots of people are getting those, or you can unmute yourself and ask your questions. So is the renewal $49 in addition to the one student per year? And so if you enroll one student per year, you do not need to do that. You don't have to go through the renewal. You don't have to pay the $49. Sorry, I'm looking at 2 different screens, so my brain got fried. So if you enroll one student per year, you do not have to go through the renewal process. That renewal process and $49 is only in place if you did not enroll a student. Do you have to be a consultant? This is a Ryan Gappinger question. Do you have to be a consultant to receive compensation?
Yeah. See if I can not. Okay, here we go. The question is, do you have to be a consultant to receive compensation? Yeah, so you have to become a certified consultant in order to enroll somebody and therefore receive the referral fee.
Perfect. And then the next one is also for you. And it's a confirmation of you must be licensed to become a consultant, correct?
So you could become a consultant without being licensed, but in order to enroll somebody and get that referral fee, then you would need an active license. So it's a kind of a two-part question, or two-part answer, I should say. You could become a consultant without having a life license, but in order to actually participate and enroll a family, WFG does require a life license.
Perfect. What other questions or concerns or clarifications can we offer you? Again, you can put that in the chat, or you can unmute yourself.
I have a question.
Yes, please, go ahead.
What's the difference between being a for-profit organization and a nonprofit organization? I mean, because you're saying there's a benefit. Is there a benefit from being a nonprofit?
Well, I mean, in general, being a nonprofit means you don't have any shareholders that you're trying to, boost any, income or whatnot for. So a nonprofit has a mission, and within that, the general rules is 80 to 85% of the revenue that comes in for that nonprofit has to be used to promote your mission. And so the benefit of a nonprofit is really, we're not trying to boost our income or anything for shareholders. We're trying to build our missions, which is, educating people really anywhere financially. That's with this college coaching program, or adults, or anybody. So
you basically, like a nonprofit would be like you're focused more on the student, rather than a for-profit is more focused on the benefits of the college.
Yeah, so if a for-profit or a nonprofit's really focused on promoting our mission, yes, which is financially educating people. A for-profit, you can make the argument that certainly they're there, maybe they could help the students in a similar situation, but they're not promoting their mission. They're there to make more money for either themselves or somebody in their organization.
Great. So we have a question on the chat, and we have a couple, so I'm going to do my best to kind of get to them. Do we assist families with FAFSA? And if so, can the consultant find out about the family's EFC? So first part of that question is yes, we do help students with FAFSA and their financial aid. We provide that review. If they are comfortable in sharing that, I think that's the idea, right, is that you would then have access to that, but you would have that access directly from the client. So it's not something we would share on their behalf, but that is typically how we operate. That's how you can build that leverage. So you would get that directly from the client and the family. A question here from someone: they passed their life and health exam, just waiting for license. My question is, while she's waiting, can I get the college consultant certificate? And the answer, Ryan, correct me if I'm wrong, the answer is yes. You absolutely can go through the consultant certification process while you're waiting for your life license to come in. You'll just need to wait to enroll students until you have that life license.
Yep, that's correct.
Okay, yay. Did I say that if you didn't enroll a student during the year, you have to renew the certificate? The short answer is yes. The longer answer is that is done manually on our part. And so as we go through and we double check people's their renewal dates and all of those things. So it's not a very fast turnaround on that date, but yes, you need to enroll a student within that year, and if not, then you more likely than not will be required to pay that $49 renewal fee. How do you calculate the year? Is it from the time? It's the date from your certification. So it's your personal renewal date. It's not based on a calendar. So it's 1 year from the date that you receive your certification. Do we have college coaching for international students? We do. We look at that on an individual basis based on some of the, it is a higher price. I believe right now the international student program is $69.95 for the first year with a $2,000 yearly renewal. Obviously that's got some different commission pieces for you all as consultants, but we do look at that on an individual basis to make sure that one, it's a country that we can work with for students to come to the US. And obviously right now things are a little bit up in the air with travel and those types of things, but it is something that is available. Can a family get on the college coaching program of $649, or do they have to get the package? So the way that there is no option that's for everything. We have the individualized options, which is the college admission. There's one on financial aid, post-high school planning, essay, and admissions. The
Post high school, yeah.
Yes, thank you. I was like, I don't have it in front of me. It felt like a test. And so each of those options are $649, and they are delivered with 4 30-minute sessions only over 2 months. But if students want or a family wants to have that access to a coach for a year, that is the comprehensive program at $24.95. So is the $2,500 student fee one time? I'm assuming, David, when you're asking this question, I just want some clarification to make sure I understand. Is the $2,500 student fee one time or more fees a second year and later? I need a little bit more information to answer that. So if you want to unmute or put more information in the chat, I'd be happy to answer. So I'll go on to the next one while we're there. So someone was a consultant a few years ago. Do I have to take the exam again to renew, and who can I contact to look into that? Ryan, do we have to, if it's a lapsed piece, do they need to go through the renewal test again?
Yeah, I mean, correct. They would have to. I mean, things have changed, obviously, depending on how long ago you became a consultant.
Yes.
Obviously, we've added options and different things. So part of the recertification process would be taking the exam. The exam is significantly shorter for the recert, but we do require that.
Perfect. Yeah, and we did go through and update that most recently, but it's going to be that same cost to it. So great questions. And
as far as who can I contact, you can reach out to any of us. Part of our primary email is HIFECPP@hifa-usa.org. I don't know, Megan, if you want to type that in there, but that would be the best way to start to contact somebody to kind of get that process started.
All right, and I put my email in there. Well, maybe I did. Great. I was like, where's the other one? Okay, so we got some clarifications. If the student enrolls in sophomore year and pays the $2,500, I guess I'm not clear on what the $2,500 is. So the $24.95. Sorry, my brain was not clicking in on that, David. I apologize. So yes, if a student enrolls in sophomore year and pays that $24.95 enrollment fee, the next year when that comes available, so let's say they join today, May 20th, 2020, on May 20th, 2021, if they want to continue in the program, they'll need to pay that renewal fee of $500. And they will need to do that each year on that renewal date. So it's significantly less than that initial investment, but to remain in the program, you will have to pay that, or that renewal fee will need to be paid yearly. So that $500. Great question. Thanks for asking that. Yeah, absolutely. What other questions, concerns, clarifications can we offer for folks?
Michelle, it's regarding, my name is Sydney. A follow-up on on David's question regarding the yearly. So
Okay,
you said initials 24.95, right? And then 500 after that. But if
correct.
they miss, for example, 1 year, like for example, a freshman, but sophomore didn't, renew it, and they come back on the third year, so they have to restart the program, right? The paying the 24.95 again.
With that significant amount of time in there, yes, we would require them to restart the program. They would more likely than not be assigned a new coach and kind of starting from, not really from scratch for them, but they're really starting from scratch in the program. If there's a month or two kind of lapse in that, then obviously we don't go and have them start all over. But with a year or more in between, we would require that they re-enroll at the full price.
Oh, you mentioned 2 to 3 months, but is there's like a max where they could renew, for example, May to May? But what's the extension that they have the option to renew it for 500 on?
That's all looked at on an individual basis. So yeah, so we don't have a kind of a cut and dried, but we do look at that on an individual basis, knowing that emails get lost and all of those things. But we want to make sure that they've had no break in service if possible, and those types of things.
All right, thank you.
We're getting a question, is it too late for a junior? It is never too late. And I think junior year, I just had this conversation with a family earlier that right now, specifically right now, but I think that junior year is a really great time. Junior year really focuses on how are we preparing for the college admissions process. So we don't want there to be a case that all of a sudden I have to get out there and start applying for these colleges and I don't know what the heck I'm doing. And so I'm going to start panic applying or just panicking in general. And so really starting in junior year is perfect. I don't believe it's too late. Will they have to do some things sometimes quickly? Absolutely. So we want students who are engaged in the program that are doing that. But junior year is a great time to focus on how do we get those materials together? What types of schools are we looking for? Let's narrow down those careers, all of those pieces. So I think big thumbs up to junior year. So there's a question, explain how coaches, there's a couple of here in here, so I'm going to do each one individually. Explain how coaches work with students and parents and what the dynamic is. So it's all done, primarily it's all done email or online. And the main person that the coach is talking to is the student. We are teaching them to be advocates for themselves, to ask questions, to be responsible for that. And we include parents and consultants on those email conversations. If they're not, I just saw an email as I was sitting on this webinar from one of our coaches to either the consultant or the parent, I'm not clear on that was sending something out on behalf of the student saying, hey, so-and-so, I have sent this student emails and they haven't responded to me for 3 months. Are you receiving them? What's going on? So we try to really have that collaborative relationship. We know I'm a parent, Ryan's a parent. We know that our kids don't listen to us in the same way as they do a third party. And so our coaches are happy to play that role. But their primary person that they are working with is the student. And obviously if there's times for the need to have that conversation with parents, then they absolutely do. Can students contact coaches with any questions they have on an unlimited basis? Yes. We ask that it's pertaining loosely to college coaching or things that they have had conversations about, but yes. And we ask that as those unlimited questions are coming in, that coaches are given that 72 business hours. It's usually right around the 48 business hours for responses. So this isn't necessarily designed to be, let me ask a question and get something back right away. Sometimes our coaches are having office hours. That's going to be different. But in general, to answer that question, yes, they can and are encouraged to ask those questions of their coach. That's a great question, Jose. Thank you for that. All right. Well, we have a couple of minutes, so I will start the wrap up. That usually gets a couple of people to want to get their questions in on a regular basis. But we are so pleased that so many of you were able to join us and ask all of these great questions. We do these programs pretty often, but the content really changes based on the questions and clarifications that you all have. So thank you for being engaged and being present and really getting into this with us. We obviously wholeheartedly believe in the college coaching program in and of itself, how that relates to financial literacy, financial education, and being able to act on that, like Ryan was talking about. And we believe that this is a really great piece to add to your business, to be able to leverage that, to be able to have different conversations with your potential clients, or maybe even your current clients who are looking for something along these lines. So thank you all so very much. If there's anything that we can do, obviously you have our contact information. You can find us at hife-usa.org or at collegecoaching.org. So thank you all so very much for joining us. Ryan, if you want to say anything, I can stop talking for a minute.
No, that's great. Yeah, again, appreciate you guys being on here. If any questions, and like Megan just mentioned, feel free to reach out. My email is just Ryan, RYAN, at hife-usa.org. And also, we are recording this, and we can get the recording to you if you want to forward on to any of your team members as well. Just feel free to reach out to either of us, whether it's Megan or myself, and we'll get you a copy. It usually takes us a little bit to kind of get it uploaded into the streaming service, but this will be available if you wanted to forward it over.
Yeah. And there was one question on here is, do we have a phone number to talk to you all live? And so I put our phone number in there. But what I would suggest, if you want to talk to Ryan or myself or someone else at the organization, send Ryan or I or that HIFE CPP at hife-usa.org email and email. Send an email just to request that. And that might be a little bit quicker with everyone being out of the office. We've had some issues with our voicemail and our phone. So email is actually probably a quicker way to set up a phone call. So calling that direct number won't get you to us right away. So send us an email. We're on it most of the day, and would be happy to set up a phone call with you to follow up on anything specific that wasn't covered today or that comes up later on. So great question. So, all right. Well, I think we are at time. If people don't have any other questions or clarifications for us, again, thank you so very much for joining us and spending whatever part of the day it is and whatever part of the world you are in with us. We absolutely appreciate it. We look forward to either working with you as a consultant or continuing our work with you as a consultant as you bring your expertise with the addition of the college planning part of that to your communities. And to everything. So thank you so very much for joining us, and we wish you a very happy day.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you very much for all the information. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good one. Thank you.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks. Have a great day.